Well, hello everyone. It's great to be back. It's great to be here again today. We've had a beautiful week. We're always grateful to God for each and every moment that He gives us, for every day that He builds us, every day that He shows us His goodness in our lives. So we're back again this week, and this week we're talking about something that is very important. Equally important is all the other subjects that we talk about. I believe that as we get to the end of the year, we look back most of the time and we always want to see what have we done with time and where did time go, because we've had so many plans for the year and we realize that we did not get to achieve some of the plans that we had. Things did not go the way we wanted them to go. And sometimes it's because of what we're talking about today that we don't get to do what we wanted to do, or what we would have wanted to do, or what we needed to do. It's because we procrastinate. We're talking today about procrastinating. Procrastinating is what keeps most of us in one place. What is procrastinating? What does it mean when we talk about someone who's procrastinating, someone who's delaying, someone who's putting things off? That is what we're talking about today. Someone who keeps on pushing things off. Someone who delays to do something, someone who delays action, someone who postpones things. That is what we're talking about today. It's procrastinating. It's something that's very dangerous. If we don't deal with it, we'll find ourselves frustrated even next year. We'll find ourselves frustrated even in the next projects that we find ourselves in. We will find ourselves frustrated because instead of taking decisions and making decisions, we put them off, we postpone them. We hope that they will be dealt with on their own. Or maybe we hope that someone will deal with whatever it is we need to deal with. And that is something that is very dangerous to do. We cannot keep on putting things off and expecting to see change in our lives. We cannot keep on putting things off and expecting to see progress in our lives and expecting to grow, expecting to be in a different place, expecting to perform differently, expecting to do differently. But we know that there's this thing that we need to do that is waiting for our action, that is waiting for our decision, that is waiting for our move. And unless we do something, we will never find change. We will never move. We will never become better people. We will not grow, and we will not achieve certain things and things that we need to achieve as people. So, as I looked up the definition of procrastinating, it says is to delay, it is to postpone action, like I said. It is to keep on delaying or postponing or putting something off, putting off something that must be done. You get that part. Something that must be done. It must be done. But for whatever reason, you find yourself putting it off. You find yourself pushing it off. You find yourself putting it on the side. And sometimes you even avoid talking about it because you think you still have time, because you think you're not ready, because you think you're not in the right place. You put it off, you delay it, you postpone it. Sometimes the danger with this is that you delay progress, you delay growth, you delay opportunities, you delaying yourself, no one else but yourself. And procrastinating, if we can understand, is a waste of time. It is a waste of time, and delaying itself is a waste of time. It's a waste of what could have happened, what we could have done with our time that we wasted. That is why it is waste, and it is a waste of time. Now, what we need to understand is that every one of us, we sometimes put things off. So don't think that that odd one out. You are the bad one when you keep pushing things off. But because even though we are all doing this, even though sometimes we find ourselves doing this, it does not make it right. It does not mean that you're doing the right thing because most people or all people are doing it. It's something we all need to deal with. At some point, decisions must be made. They must be made by us. Sometimes very uncomfortable decisions, very bad decisions we must make for something to happen. It's very important to understand this. Sometimes it's not going to always be the nice things that you must decide upon. It's not always going to be the great things that you must decide upon. Maybe you need to get out of a very, very bad environment, unhealthy environment. It may be at home, it may be at work, it may be wherever it may be. But you just keep on putting it off, hoping for things to change. You're procrastinating. You are delaying yourself. You're delaying what is waiting for you on the other side. Last week, we spoke about change. Now, for change to happen, we cannot delay. We cannot keep putting things off. We cannot expect someone else to come and do things for us. Unfortunately, life doesn't work like that. If we are to grow, if we are to move, if we are to become better people, if we are to find ourselves in a better position, we need to make the necessary decisions that we need to make today. We need to stop delaying. We need to stop putting things off. We need to understand that the time that we have today may not come back again. And it will not come back again if we waste it today. So procrastinating will keep you in one place if you are not careful. Procrastinating, I said, it's dangerous because it can mess up your entire life. It can mess up your entire life. It can mess up your work. It can mess up at work. It can mess up your projects. It can mess up your relationships. It can mess up your growth because instead of doing what you need to do today, you put it off to do tomorrow. What if something comes tomorrow and you don't get to do it? What if you don't get a chance tomorrow? Something else that's very important comes up tomorrow. Then what is going to happen? You're going to mess things up. You're going to mess up your life. You're going to do something that you don't want to do to you. And it's not going to be fair on you when things don't look good. So why do we procrastinate? Why do we procrastinate? I've said so many things, and we procrastinate, we delay ourselves, waste time, and we're delaying change, we're delaying progress. But why do we do it? It's because of many things. It's because of fear. It is because of lack of knowledge. It is because of lack of knowledge. It could be knowledge about a particular subject, or it is knowledge about who you are, who you need to be, where you need to be, and what you need to do. So The lack of knowledge covers many things. You would understand what that is as you look at your life and yourself as to why you procrastinate, why you keep putting things off. So it's lack of self-esteem also. Lack of self-esteem because you don't have enough confidence in who you are. You tend to delay doing things, delay taking that decision, delay making a move, delay saying something that's needed to be said, delaying making a move that's needed to be made, delaying something that you need so desperately. But because you don't have self-esteem, self-confidence, you have very low self-esteem. You've been told you are nobody. Somebody like you will amount to nothing. Somebody in your position will never have anything. So you've believed all of these things. Now your self-esteem is very low. You don't do anything unless someone else starts it for you. You don't do anything unless someone else pushes you. You don't do anything unless you are forced to do it. You don't have a choice. But now, what happens when you have to do something? No one is there to push you. No one is there to force you. You have to do it for yourself. You have to put yourself first and understand why you need to do this. That's why you need to develop your self-esteem, your self-confidence, so that you are able to make the necessary decisions. You don't delay them. You don't wait for people to push you. You don't wait for people to force you to do things. It's also it's also caused by past failures. You know, when you failed so many times in life, maybe in something that's very important, you tend to think that if you try again, you will fail again. If you do again, you will fail again. If you move again, you will fail again. So past failures, they also prevent us from making decisions when we need to make decisions, from doing things when we need to do things. So that is the problem that we need to deal with. We need to understand our past failures. They don't have power in our present life. Whatever it is we failed at doing in the past, it does not mean that we are automatically going to fail in everything that we do now, that we try now. What's in the past is in the past. So we need to deal with our our feelings, and however way we dealt with things in the past, and understand that we cannot keep doing that for us to grow, for us to move differently and become better people and different people. So don't let your past failures stand in the way when you need to do something today, when you're given an opportunity to be a better person today, when you're given an opportunity to have a different future. And the future that you will have that is different starts today and in the decisions that you make today. So when you delay doing things today, it's going to affect your tomorrow. It's going to affect your future. It's going to affect your entire life. Like I said, your entire life is at stake. So we spoke about the lack of knowledge, low self-esteem, fear, the causes of procrastinating, you know. So it's the fear, it's the lack of knowledge, low self-esteem. We said past failures. It can also be lack of discipline. Lack of discipline or lack of commitment. We're not disciplined enough to do what's needed to be done when it's needed to be done. We're not disciplined enough to keep our promises, to go after our goals and whatever it is we've set out to do for ourselves. So we need to then develop discipline and understand that it's only when we are disciplined enough that we will be able to do things on time, that we will be able to submit things on time, that will be able to learn about things on time, that will be able to start things on time while we still have time. So we need to learn this. We need to teach ourselves to have discipline, to be committed enough so that whatever comes our way doesn't have power to stop us from doing what we need to do in our lives. It's also sometimes not being driven enough. You don't have enough passion, and you need to have passion because this thing is important. So you need to understand, you need to do what's needed to be done and find joy in doing it. Find the enthusiasm in doing what you need to do or starting what you need to start. And as you start, you will then teach yourself to commit, you'll teach yourself to be disciplined, and you will teach yourself to have more confidence in yourself and the things that you can do. I'm telling you, you'll surprise yourself as you look at these things in your life and start making the necessary changes so that you don't delay, you don't postpone, you don't put things off that are meant to be done, that are needed to be done. Sometimes you don't take the decision, or you don't act, you don't move, or you don't do because you don't understand fully the value in this thing that must be done. Oh, your value, your value. You don't understand how valuable you are, that you can't keep putting off certain things that have to do with your well-being. You can't keep on putting off things that have to do with your well-being. You can't keep putting things off that have to do with you. You understand your value to understand the value in everything that must be done in your life. Now, when you understand how valuable you are, how valuable your life is, how valuable your growth is, and how valuable your peace and joy is, then you start making changes and you start valuing the things that have to do with you, the things that must be done. You've developed passion already. You are now driven. You are now disciplined because you understand the value in this, and you understand how valuable your life is, how you value change, and how you value everything that has your name on it, everything that has to do with you. So you go all out because now you understand the value in this thing that you are doing. So you put a value in everything that you do so that you go all out because it's important. It must be done. And when it is done, these are the rewards, these are the benefits. Once you understand that, there's nothing that will stop you. You understanding the value will push you to go out, to go all out, and allowing nothing to stop you. So for you to make it, for you to stop procrastinating and stop putting things off and stop delaying and postponing things and pushing things aside and expecting someone else to do things for you or something to happen without you doing anything, you need to understand why you do this. So you need to understand, what is it? Is it your past failures? Is it lack of knowledge and low self-esteem? Is it because you fear so much that you don't want to do anything because you have fear of the unknown, or you don't want to humiliate yourself, you don't want to fail, and people to see that or disappoint yourself or be discouraged even more because of your past failures? We need to understand, why do we procrastinate so that we can deal with it. So how do you deal with it? How do you change it? How do you move on? How do you start doing today? How do you start working today and moving today? How do you start changing certain things today and saying what's needed to be said? Some of the things, it's things we need to say. We don't say them because we're scared. We don't say them because we don't value ourselves. We value other people more. We don't say them because we are afraid to fail. We are afraid to be laughed at. We are afraid to be mocked. So we need to understand, we need to let go of failure, of fear. We need to let go of whatever it is that's standing on our way so that we start moving, we start making changes in our lives. We need to prioritize correctly. to do this, so that we know, okay, this is done, it's to be done today. I can't put it off for tomorrow. I can't put it off for next month. For my life to change, I need to do something about this today. For my position at work to be respected, I need to start making necessary changes, prioritize correctly. Prioritize correctly. Have a renewal of mind where you now start seeing that everything is possible, and you have what it takes. You just need to believe in yourself. You just need to surround yourself with the right people. You just need to go all out and not limit yourself. You just need to believe in yourself more and not let the past stop you from moving on and having a great future. Now you need to be aligned correctly. Like I said, you need to surround yourself with the right people and be at the right place, be at the right places. And when you get there, do what's needed to be done. And embrace change. Don't be afraid of change. Take change and become the best out of the changes that come your way, that come along the way. Do what's needed to be done when things change in life. When you find certain things changing, or you are changing, the world is changing every day. So we cannot avoid change. We need to embrace change and become the change that is needed also in this world. For change is not to destroy us, but to build us and make us better people than they would have if we feared them. So we must not fear change. Embrace the imperfections. Don't expect everything to be perfect. Nothing in life is perfect. You are not perfect. This world is not perfect. No one is perfect. No day is perfect. Just embrace that and understand that out of the imperfections comes something great most of the time, if not all the time. So don't be afraid when things don't happen the way you expect them to happen, or they don't turn out the way you expect them to turn out. Believe more in yourself. Believe more in yourself. You have what it takes. You just need to believe more. You just need to believe more and let no one tell you that you cannot do anything. And something that we need to do more as people is to challenge ourselves. Challenge yourself. Starting, I think this week, I wrote somewhere to say we need to challenge ourselves in doing things we never thought we could ever do. That is how we grow as people. That is how we find out or discover or uncover certain things about ourselves. That is how we uncover this world and the things that we can do, we thought we could never do. When we start doing them, as we challenge ourselves, we surprise ourselves. So we need to let go of fear for us to challenge ourselves like that. Now, finally, we have to understand that it is important to stop putting things off for change to happen. What have you been postponing? What have you been putting off? When are you going to do it? Understand what is at stake for you to start doing things, something about what needs to be done. Understand what is at stake. What is at stake? Your life, your future, your joy, your peace. Success is at stake. You need to understand that is what is at stake when you put things off, whatever that is. Decision making, or starting something new, starting a company, starting a business. You've had so many ideas, but you've been putting them off. You've never tried and failed. You've been scared. You've been putting them off. Change is waiting for you. You are in a bad environment, an unhealthy environment. You've been afraid to move out of that environment because you do not know what is on the other side. Believe in yourself more, challenge yourself, and take the first step. Take the first step. It starts with that one step that you take. That change will come in your life. Your future is depending on everything that you put off today. So new beginnings, they're depending on that. Your growth is depending on that. Your laughter, love is depending on that. So don't put your life on hold because of fear, because of the past, because of what people have been saying to you, or what they've said, or what they've done to you. And remember something very important. I think this will help you understand why you need to move, why you need to do, Why you need to teach yourself these things. Time wait for no one. Time waits for no one. Time will wait for no one. Time wasted today is time gone. Time wasted is a lifetime wasted sometimes for other people. Time wasted is time lost and it's never regained. So if you think you'll get what you've lost, you will never get it. You can only do with what you get as you move on. So don't waste any more time. You've wasted enough time. Start doing things today that are needed to be done today. And sometimes we procrastinate because we overthink and we overshare information with people. We overshare, and when we share too much, we are told we're not good enough. We're reminded of our fears and we stay in one place. We don't move. We overthink and we remind ourselves or reminded that we once failed or we're not good enough and we stop. We don't try. We don't do things. So stop overthinking and stop oversharing and start doing today what you need to do today so that your life becomes better, so that you laugh more, so that you're placed differently in this world. You don't have time. Don't think you have time. You only have today. What are you going to do with today? Are you going to waste it as you wasted yesterday? Are you going to waste it as you wasted last month? Are you going to waste it as you wasted last year? We said we're getting to the end of the year. We need to make changes. How about you start now by not postponing things, by putting yourself first and putting your values first and valuing who you are and the things that you have in your mind and in your life. Value them to a point that when you do them at your best. You take out your best and you always bring out your best because that is a representation of who you are. Whatever you've done and you are submitting, as you submit, remember, it says a lot about who you are. If you keep delaying and you do things late, you end up rushing them. By the time you have to do them the last minute and you submit something that is not really what you could have submitted had you started early. Had you started earlier, you would have had time to think. You would have had time to work things around and make sure it's the best. Whatever it is you come out with, it is the best. Do not fail yourself and do not misrepresent yourself because you put things off to the last minute. You put things off to the last day. You put things off to the last day because they said the deadline is that day. You're going to wait until that day, even though you have time to do things now. Don't disappoint yourself. So go on and challenge yourself and do something great. Don't sit in your comfort zone and be comfortable. Life can be better when you start making the changes. Let's talk again next week. And I hope that you will give this some thought and make some necessary changes so that you do better and make yourself proud. You can definitely do great and you can become a better person. Don't overthink and don't doubt yourself. You can do this. You have what it takes. You just need to believe in yourself more. Don't procrastinate. Don't postpone. Don't put things off. It's been great. I look forward to seeing you next week. Be great. Bye.